Oh.
Okay, so we're back today with our fabulous radio star here.
Oh my gosh.
We had on before Linda from the radio station. Now, she actually does a full-on show on the radio station. So I want you to kind of tell us what you do for the radio station.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of do like the little stuff in between, I guess.
Like Saint Therese.
Exactly, yeah. So my sister Sydney and I, we do Saint spots for 92.7 FM. Turn it on if you're in the Sykesville, Eldersburg, Westminster area. So we do the Saint of the Month spots that you hear every month. They're just like a minute long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're very brief. You know, we try to keep it brief. So we'll do different, saints every month whose feast days are in that month.
Okay.
Yeah, so we write scripts for, like, different ads that we'll do from, like, the bulletin. We'll write scripts and then record them, and then I do, like, post-production on them and add music and all that fun stuff.
Ooh, so you're doing the post-production now, even.
Oh, yeah, yep. I know how to do that, and I can upload it to the air and stuff like that. So, yeah,
that's
I
really
like
cool.
it. I enjoy it.
Okay, so now tell us how you got started.
Oh, well, okay. My mom had something to do with it, as always. She has good ideas though. So, we had heard about the radio station because our church didn't always have this radio station. It's very recent. And they were doing like some kind of fundraiser, I think, after Mass one day.
Okay.
And so I think it was around Christmas even. I could be wrong, but so we went to that, my mom and the rest of my siblings and I, after Mass, we went to this fundraiser and looked around, and then Mr. Danny, who's kind of like Danny Gallagher, he's kind of the our coordinator, leader for the radio ministry. He was there, and he was looking for, recruits for people who are interested in, actually helping out with the radio station. So my mom was kind of like, hey, that'd be cool if you're on the radio. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be on the radio. At the time, I was like, no, I don't want to, be on the radio, on the air, anything like that.
Right.
And she was, but I talked to him anyway, and he was like, well, you could just, you could write the scripts for us, And I was like, okay, I can do that. And it kind of, transitioned from there. And it's not, it's not as scary as I thought it was, being on the air, especially because I just do, like, little short blurbs in between, so it's nothing,
And I heard now, though, that you go to all the meetings.
I do, yeah. I don't understand half of what goes on, but it's interesting to me, so, I'm catching on slowly, all the different, just everything that goes into, making this happen, and all the things that we have to consider. So I'm trying to help where I can in the little ways. Again, I don't understand half of, like, the technical or business aspect of it, but I've been trying to, or I'm supposed to, haven't had time lately, but I'm supposed to, research, like, ways that we can get our name out there, so I was gonna design, like, car magnets and things like that.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's kind of my small little task project.
Okay, so what kind of so you use Relevant Radio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we stream
station?
Relevant Radio 24/7,
Okay.
pretty much.
And how big a range do you guys have?
I don't know in terms of miles, like the diameter, but basically we go as far as, like, Lyons Mill towards the Owings Mills area. We go up to Westminster. I think you can hear it. I'm not sure how far up into Westminster you can hear it.
So maybe like 20 minutes away, 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Diameter.
Pretty good start.
Yeah.
So what's the mission of the radio since you're...
We're just, we're trying to, spread the word of Christ, to people around us, and, starting small within our local community. I'm trying to get people, more involved and more aware of what's happening at St. Joe's and all the great things that are happening in our small little community. So yeah.
Okay, now to surprise people, because they're probably thinking, oh, she must be like a theology student and all this stuff. Tell people what you study at school.
I'm a biology major and a psychology minor. So, yeah, radio communication is not really at all part of my major. But I feel like, it's building my communication skills. Because I'm not very big on, like, public speaking or things like that. Like I said, I was hesitant to, even get involved with the radio station in the first place. So, Yeah,
And
you know.
you're getting closer to graduating. Do you have exactly what you want to do yet, or still?
Everybody asks me that.
See, this is what they get all the time.
Yeah.
Well, you've switched a little bit. I mean, when you were younger, it was kind of veterinarian, and then you kind of honed in, like you're getting
Yeah.
closer to.
Yeah, I definitely,
deciding.
okay, this is what I tell people all the time, my very vague answers. I definitely want to do something with animals. I've always enjoyed working with animals, specifically dogs. Although I do have 2 rabbits at home. One of them is my sister's, so I can't claim both of them. But we have house rabbits. So I do want to do something with animals. But yeah, I was thinking vet school when I was a kid. But then when I got into college, I realized how long vet school takes. And I was like, I don't know if I'm about that life. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because I was just thinking also, like thinking way further down the road, I also feel called to eventually be like a wife and a mother, and in that case I would want to homeschool my kids like I was, because I loved homeschooling, so I would want to give my kids that opportunity also.
That'd be a tough road.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it would be, to go to vet school and go through all those years of school. I was thinking, well, that's a lot of time and money for something that I might just eventually drop in the future in order to spend more time with my kids, because that's ultimately what I would want to be my priority.
So what are you thinking now?
Now, I've been looking into animal behavior, so because you can have your master's, although mostly I would probably most likely have to have my PhD for that. But I thought it'd be neat to have my own private practice, work with dogs who have behavioral issues, and I don't know, maybe even get involved with like the Humane Society and try to, rehabilitate dogs and try to find them some, homes. Make them a little more adoptable. So. And
you have some experience both with animals in your house, but you did your capstone project. Are you allowed to talk about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, well, so I did my I can be a little vague. I did it through Johns Hopkins University. My dad works there, so he was kind of able to get me a foot in the door type of thing. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, so for capstone, I interned with Johns Hopkins University over the summer. I was if I can get the position title right, a animal behavior research assistant, I believe was my official title. So basically, I worked at the non-human primate breeding facility at Hopkins, studied, learned all about monkey behavior, and we actually got to do a little bit of positive reinforcement training with them, to train them basically to approach like caretakers and veterinarians, and not to be stressed or frightened of them. It just makes things easier for
and that could definitely translate, I feel like, to any animal. You probably learned to watch for body clues and things and different reinforcements to use. So.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot about positive reinforcement. So
that's good for kids too.
Monkeys are a lot like kids. They really are. Yeah.
So you've got a lot of stuff to look at still, probably figure out, and then see what the job opportunities are that are out there.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to work with monkeys, but it was an experience. They're different, but definitely thinking more dogs. But yeah, I've also recently been considering maybe teaching also as a possible career field, because I have a part-time tutoring position at Stevenson, and I really, really enjoy it actually. So So, I've been considering that. Obviously, like one-on-one tutoring sessions are different from teaching a whole class or classes. So, I haven't really had time to do a lot of discernment on that, but it's just something that I've been thinking
good
about.
Option.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so then she thinks she's off the hook. So you accidentally became an evangelist.
Oh, I did.
I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
Oh, I did not. What?
Working on the radio station. So you're living your life, right? And you accidentally stepped into being an evangelist. So was it anything?
Yeah, I guess so.
That was not anything that you said on your radar at all.
Not really, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's different. I guess I don't really think of myself as an evangelist necessarily. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely the radio is a form of evangelization. That's what our goal is. But yeah, it's different. I guess it's a good preparation for me because I haven't really done a lot of like one-on-one evangelization.
Right.
That kind of, confrontation. I mean, it doesn't have to be that way, obviously,
It doesn't.
but I'm still, a little like
It can be your little way. It doesn't have to be in somebody's face. That's just one form.
Yeah, yep. So so I do like the radio in that sense that it's not, that, like a one-on-one type of thing. It's more indirect, but reaching a lot more people.
Even kids listening,
hopefully.
their mom has it on in the van or whatever on their way to sports. They're hearing your saint stories.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hearing your young adult voice, and they can kind of identify you. It's not like old people telling them what to do kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping with the confirmation retreat when my mom and I did that at the shrine. I was kind of thinking, it'd be cool, because I imagine, maybe there are some kids there who, they were forced into going.
Yeah.
They're not really, on board with this whole confirmation thing, but whatever, it's just something that we do. Right. So, yeah, I was hoping that, me being there hopefully would kind of like inspire them, like, hey, it's cool to be Catholic. You don't have to be, you don't have to feel like it's uncool or something to be ashamed of.
Right. It's just fun to watch you develop, because you're doing this kind of accidentally, but you're evangelizing more and more without realizing it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of fun to see.
It just kind of happens. Yeah.
And that's,
life is funny that way.
I mean, and that's one of the things I talk about continually on the show is that you go to Mass, right? You go to Mass all the time. Do you go to adoration still?
Not as much as I'd like to recently, but yeah, I do every once in a while, even if it's just for like 10 minutes, stop in the chapel on the way to school or whatever. Yeah.
So you go to Mass, you go to adoration, you probably have a private prayer life. You're working at the radio station, so you're filling up that well, and it's bound to spill out to other people. It just can't help it.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, well, thank you, Brigid, for coming. I know she was really not sure about doing this, but I thank you again for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This wasn't so bad.
No, and I hope you stay tuned, and I hope if anybody has any questions for Brigid, go ahead and put them in the comments. We can have her on again, or I can slip the notes to her, and she can send me back answers, whatever you need. And take note, young adult leaders and youth pastors. I mean, they're willing to do it in small ways, right? Mm-hmm. It's not as scary, definitely. She's finding out.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to ask the young adults to help. I mean, would you have any message for pastors or?
Yeah, I mean, just, get us involved. Find ways to, reach out to us to, draw us in. Because it is, being in college, seeing, interacting with my classmates and just, hearing about things going on in people's lives. Like, it's a crazy world out there. And especially, for this time, I mean, I'm grateful that I don't have those things going on in my life. But a lot of people are dealing with stuff that I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I didn't, if you don't have something like a firm faith foundation or, a strong faith community to like cling to, or even, your family to fall back on, when you're dealing with all these things, like, I can't even imagine that, going through that without, some kind of support system. So yeah, it's a critical, time in our lives, I think so.
I think I can speak for most adults. We remember those years, and they were pretty crazy for us too. That doesn't change. I don't know that they get better or worse. I think it's just always such any transitional period of your life is kind of crazy. So like I was talking to Miss Linda, the change in our life, our kids growing up, and we're having to deal with that. You guys are dealing with it from a different angle, but still a lot of turmoil, and you have to have a firm faith and a good support community to get through it. And that is the church. I mean, I don't know if your mom told you, yesterday there was no family members at Maria's funeral, but it was like 100 people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's community.
Yeah. That's a church family. That's real family. Yeah.
So, friends, have a blessed holiday weekend. Don't eat too much. Don't stress too much over the sales. It's all good. Remember to take some time out. Give thanks to God for your family and friends and for your church community.
Yeah.
So, God bless.